The hillside came down and pushed the little sauna that we really don't even use. That's how much pressure. Completely pushed these garden boxes. And now it's holding everything else up. Well, I'm about to find out if the little bit of grading that I've already done around the house is going to be significant enough to handle 2 inches of rain in less than 30 minutes. So it's been a few weeks since I planted all of this sod that I got from one of our local sod farms at a significantly discounted rate because the mice had put quite a few holes in the sod. I've been watering it day and night, but I think it's finally time to put the fallow deer on it. And we're going to find out how much damage the fallow deer can do to this Kentucky bluegrass in 20 minutes. So I like to watch the economy and try and figure out what's going on. And the one thing that is becoming more and more apparent is that people are getting in trouble with debt. There's more unsecured debt at this moment in time than there ever has been in history. And debt can be something that can be virtually impossible to get away from. We've always said it's so easy to get into credit card debt, but it can be so hard to get out. Moments like this is when we need PDS debt.
So if you're making payments every month on your debt and your balances aren't going down, PDS Debt has solutions for you.
So everyone that would have $10,000 or more in eligible debt would qualify. Bad and fair credit accepted.
With PDS Debt, you can save more and pay off your debts in a fraction of the time.
So stop waiting and start saving.
PDS Debt has customized options for anyone struggling with credit cards, personal loans, collections, or medical bills. Get a free debt analysis today by going to pdsdebt.com/redpoppyranch.
It only takes 30 seconds.
That's pdsdebt.com/redpoppyranch.
Thank you, PDS Debt. So any day now the weather's going to change. It's going to start raining in the afternoons and I'm going to be stuck. And I don't want to be stuck. This is one of the last major things around the house that I need to take care of once and for all. And that is as close to precision grading as I can get with my mini excavator. And the goal is to simply get the water away from the house. If you've been watching our videos for the long haul, then you know that this hillside and the drainage around this house has been an ongoing issue. But this has got to be it. After all the work that I put into the rock retaining wall, I've got to take these final steps to ensure that the water, when it does come off the hill with a vengeance, has a place to go. I looked for probably over a year pretty seriously for a pinball machine, and I opted to get a non-working pinball machine simply because it was in such good condition and it had the look. It's a 1965 Gottlieb Big Brave pinball machine, and everything's here. And my gut feeling is it's something real simple, and I can't wait to put this in the corner of the shop and waste time playing it. So after 8 years of trying to deal with how best to manage the water as it comes off the mountain, as far as our house and the shop are concerned, I need to have 2 separate paths for the water to take. Since I've taken care of the path around the back of the house, I now need to move a fairly significant amount of dirt and gravel right here between the house and the shop to give a second path for the water to follow. I don't think I fully understood how much gravel and dirt would have to be moved in order to get this front part of the house to drain properly. I'm gonna guess I'll end up moving probably 2 or 3 dump truck loads of gravel and dirt right down the driveway, which is changing the angle of the driveway for the better. And it's also adding about a foot of new gravel to the driveway, but now I'm getting down low enough in the soil where I'm starting to see some of the very first pit run that I had delivered up here nearly 8 years ago. Doing a little precision cleanup with the skid steer really makes the place look good. I tell my lovely wife Cedar at least twice a day that not everybody can tie their shoes and do a wheelie in a Bobcat skid steer. I tried to go back through my email and find the information on the person that made this and sent this to us up here at Red Poppy Ranch, probably close to 4 years ago now. And I couldn't find his name, and I first want to say thank you and give credit where credit's due, because without this sign I obviously couldn't build what I'm about to build. And after staring at this sign for a few years trying to decide what to do with it, I like the sign so much that I'm now going to make it a focal point on the front of the shop. If you couldn't tell already, we had a pretty significant rainstorm come in, and Mother Nature basically drew me a roadmap on how to solve my drainage problems by filling up the low spot in our driveway. I knew I was low, but I didn't think I was that low, and this is the problem when I try to use my eyes instead of the laser level. But as I said earlier, I didn't realize just how much dirt and gravel I was going to have to move around to not only get grade, but to cut a ditch in too. Well, this is what's left of the 36-inch Bobcat grading bucket that was on my excavator when I bought it new, and as you can see, it's basically garbage. If I had to replace this bucket with a Bobcat 36-inch bucket like this, it would easily be a couple $1,000s. So I'm going to see what I can do with some scrap steel. I spent about $12 to get an old cutting edge and some bent up strap that I'm going to use to reinforce the bucket. But having a grading bucket, especially a 36-inch wide grading bucket, is exactly what I need right now as I'm trying to grade everything around the house for the final time. It would have been nice to cut all the bad steel off this bucket and to completely rebuild it, but I don't know that I have the tools and or the skills to do quite that much, so adding a little bit of strapping across the back of the bucket and this thing's good for another 100,000 miles. Well, I have a nice new 36-inch grading bucket that will work perfectly with the grading that I'm trying to do right here in front of the house. I've got a couple loads of pit run gravel scheduled to be delivered here shortly, and then I've got to get that new gravel spread out and compacted in a way where it doesn't lead to more problems. We again wanted to say thank you for stopping by and seeing what we're up to, and we will see you guys in a week. So on next week's video, I'm going to get 2 loads of gravel delivered, and as far as grade is concerned around the house, we're done. So now it's going to come down to what we choose to do with landscaping. Cedar wants to put sod, that same sod I've been able to get for the deer, which has held up perfectly so far, that Kentucky bluegrass. Cedar wants to put it around the back of the house, and then we want to plant some trees and start figuring it out. How much I think we want to do raspberries, we want to do strawberries, we want to do maybe a couple of fruit trees. And most of that we're not going to be able to plant this year, but we can at least get the garden boxes figured out where they're going to go. So we're kind of looking forward to figuring this out. So thank you guys for stopping by and checking on us, and we will see you soon.